This, all right. Hello, my name is John Block. My father, John Block Sr., and my mother, Jean Block, who were together in an airplane, have been missing since July 4th, 1977. They left Detroit, Michigan in their green and white Cessna 150. They were planning to fly to Lost Creek Sky Ranch in Luzerne, Michigan, which is near Mayo. They never arrived at Lost Creek, and we haven't seen them since. Please help me find my parents and bring them home. Thank you.
The pilot, John Block Sr., was 57 years old, 5 foot 7 inches tall, and weighed 140 pounds. The sole passenger in the aircraft was John's wife, Jean. She was 55 years old, 5 foot 7 inches tall, and weighed 175 pounds. John Block had been flying for 23 years and had approximately 340 hours of flight time. He held a private pilot's license but was not instrument rated and navigated solely by reference to visual landmarks on the ground. The pilot was known to manage risks conservatively, but was inexperienced with cross-country flight and had only flown this particular route twice before. The aircraft was a 1969 green and white Cessna 150J with a tail number November 50935. At the time of the accident, the aircraft was in the process of being converted into a search and rescue plane. The wingtips had recently been painted international orange. On Monday, July 4th, 1977, the manager of the Burrs-McComb Airport reported seeing the aircraft depart on a northerly heading at approximately 11:10 a.m. No flight plan was filed, but the duration should have been approximately 1 hour and 50 minutes. The pilot's well-known avoidance of overwater flying indicates that he would have almost certainly avoided a direct route over the Saginaw Bay. The most likely route would follow Interstate 75 North to Michigan Route 33. This flight path follows main highways that under normal flight conditions would have been easily visible from the air. The straight-line route on M33 was approximately 30 miles long and would have terminated directly over the town of Mayo. At that point, a westerly turn over the town of Luzerne would have taken the pilot to within 1 nautical mile of the Lost Creek Sky Ranch. The day of the flight was typical Michigan summer weather. The temperature was in the upper 80s to low 90s with high humidity along the entire route. The high temperatures and high humidity would have created significant haze and would substantially reduce visibility at altitudes in which light aircraft would normally fly. In Houghton Lake at 2 p.m., the ground visibility was reported as 6 statute miles. At typical flight altitudes for light aircraft, visibilities would have been considerably lower than that and would have presented significant navigational challenges for a low-time VFR-only pilot. During the time the Blocks were airborne, the pilot was reported to have made a radio call at approximately 1 p.m. asking for a car to be ready for him at the Lost Creek Sky Ranch. This call was heard by the Civil Air Patrol in Bay City, Michigan. This is the only known radio call made by the aircraft that day. No distress calls or other radio transmissions were received by any air traffic control facilities. Within 24 hours of the aircraft being reported overdue, widespread air, land, and sea searches commenced and lasted for approximately 10 days, with additional search efforts lasting another 4 weeks. Search participants included the United States Air Force, Coast Guard, and Civil Air Patrol. Although this case remains open, it is not currently the subject of an active law enforcement investigation. The most likely scenario is that the Blocks aircraft crashed within a 30-mile radius of the Lost Creek Sky Ranch due to one or more navigational errors. The primary search area is land-based for 2 reasons. 1, the pilot was known to avoid overwater flying at all costs, and 2, the July 4th holiday results in both the Michigan lakeshore and inland lakes being heavily populated with people and watercraft. The probability that an aircraft ditching would have gone unnoticed on that day is low. Navigational errors by the pilot would most likely place the aircraft in the Huron National or Atlanta State Forest areas of the northern Lower Peninsula. The following pictures show various aircraft crashes occurring in heavily wooded areas. Some are easily identifiable as aircraft debris, others are not. Initially, many crashes may appear as simple refuse piles. Any similarly appearing debris fields should be examined to ensure they do not contain aircraft wreckage. As several of these images show, light aircraft can also become lodged in the forest canopy. An inspection of the tree line should be undertaken while traversing wooded areas. As with most light aircraft, the Cessna 150 was comprised of an aluminum fuselage, which does not rust. Therefore, the aircraft hull is likely still identifiable. For these reasons, actively searching for the aircraft remains viable. We appeal to employees of the U.S. Forestry Service, Department of Natural Resources, and law enforcement agencies to be vigilant in searching for this aircraft when conducting survey or enforcement actions in heavily wooded areas. We also ask hunters and outdoor enthusiasts to remain alert. If you do locate the aircraft, please do not move any of the wreckage. The accident site will be examined by the FAA and local law enforcement authorities. If you have any information on John and Jean Block or their missing aircraft, please contact us by email at searchfortheblocks@gmail.com or contact Detective Jason Polzian at the Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Department.